Toys, toys, and more toys.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another interview-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And I'm Nilda.
Nilda.
Oh.
I finally put it in. I always forget to put it in. But yes, we are back with another interview, and we have Nilda from Appetite for Collectibles. And as you can see, if you're watching the video version, she puts Drew's display to shame with her Star Wars collectibles and other things that she has. But we're excited to have her. She's kind of showing it off a little bit. Yes, so Drew met Nilda at ICC-CC-CC-Con. So, Drew, if you want to maybe tell...
Is that enough C's?
I don't know if it was enough C's, Drew, but go ahead and maybe kind of tell how you two kind of got connected.
We actually got connected on Instagram after the fact.
I know. Yeah. But I did see you walking around
with
like
my
you were
camera.
recording.
Yeah.
With your camera. I saw you at ICC recording.
I think I saw you in the press line. But honestly, I was a little too nervous to say hi because I've been watching your stuff like since the beginning. So, but I'll say hi this year. Don't worry.
I don't know why. I think I have like that intimidating look. Every time people meet me, they're always like, "We were afraid to say hi." I'm like, "Just come up."
Yeah, like you and Sleepy, for some reason, I didn't say hi to you guys at all, and I probably should have. But
I know me and Sleepy saw each other immediately, and we were just like, Sleepy and I have been friends for like a year on Instagram, and when we saw each other, it was if like this wasn't the first time we were meeting.
Yeah. That's what I'm hoping after this fact, when we meet each other in real life in ICCC, it will be like that. So
you'll be like, "What's up, Drew?"
What up?
All right, cool. Well, anyway, so like we said last week with our interview process, we're gonna have someone on, and that's gonna be could be a random person, it could be something more specific, like with Nilda here with her collecting of toys and whatnot. But at the end of the day, there's still gonna be all the ranking stuff that we do as the top twos of characters and moments and ships and stuff like that, because it's Star Wars. Everyone loves what your favorite things in Star Wars are. So with our normal intro to this, Nilda, what is your Star Wars story? How did you become a Star Wars fan? Why do you love Star Wars so much? Let us know.
Oof. So I have loved Star Wars since I was a kid. I got into Star Wars because of my mom. She's a single parent, and she always wanted to show me like the really cool stuff that her parents never really allowed her to see. So my mom used to let me see Star Wars and horror films, and I just fell in love with it. I thought it was awesome, and like everybody says, most people wanted to be athletes. I wanted to be that space person, and I love that, you would see it and you could create your own little world. And, I was Princess Leia, and, like that's what I wanted to be. But, I can remember loving Star Wars since I was 9 years old.
Awesome. That's pretty cool. And so would you say that growing up as a Star Wars fan, people knew you as a Star Wars fan?
Some people knew me as a Star Wars fan. So when I got introduced to Star Wars, I was living in a more predominant Hispanic area, and that wasn't like the cool thing. And when my mom moved us more up north to Broward County in Florida, I kind of made more friends with the nerds, and diving into more hanging out with them, like I got to become my actual self. And they were very accepting, and we got into going to rock concerts and, watching Star Wars and everything little nerd stuff that would come out. We would go to like cons, and that's, moving more up north got me more into becoming more of myself.
That's pretty cool.
That's sweet.
Would you say that Star Wars is becoming more popular in the Hispanic community? Have you kind of been an ambassador of Star Wars?
I feel like it has become more popular in like the Hispanic community because, you see now in Star Wars, they're actually bringing more like diversity.
Mhm.
You're seeing like more Hispanics in Star Wars films. You're seeing more, African Americans in the films
Yeah.
as well. So it's like they're trying to make it more like a diverse thing. They have, Asian community as well.
Mhm.
So it's like they're trying to hit every factor, which I think it's awesome.
Yeah, it's
Awesome.
not just a bunch of white people anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Which is funny because they originally did have one original black person on Star Wars in the originals, and he was carrying that ice cream
Oh
holder,
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
but
yeah.
just nobody ever
Yep.
knew who the heck he was.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. The guy has a name, like actual name, like the character, and then like people cosplay
Yeah.
him all the time. I can't remember what.
But you know what the funny thing is? My fiance and I were looking it up. So technically, this guy was on the film once, and then after that, no one's ever been able to find this real actor. He actually gave a false name.
Oh
Oh, dang.
wow.
Yeah, so if you type his character name on Google,
Mhm.
it always says like the mystery of, and no one's been able to find that actor.
That's crazy.
And he's never like popped up and said like, "Hey, I'm that
You
guy that you guys cosplay all the
you think
time."
that
Wonder if
like
he
his
just
kids or someone would get wind of it,
I know.
unless he
Yeah, you would
never like
think.
told
And
his
it's
family like that he was him.
probably not. And I think it's hilarious because my fiance one day was on eBay and was able to find a figure of it, and he bought it because he thought it was the funniest thing in the world.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Awesome. Well, that's your Star Wars story. So, Drew, what is? I kind of made it so that Drew would ask this question just because it's kind of your guys' area of expertise. But Drew, what's up next in the discussion?
Yeah, so the next thing is going to be a little bit about toys. So how did you get into collecting? Or like what was the beginning of what you see behind you?
So when I originally started collecting, I was collecting Funko
Mhm.
Pops. And then eventually I started once in a while was diving into like going to my local comic book shop, Tate's, and like buying Power of the Force figures, but mostly it was all Funko Pops. And then eventually when I met my fiance, we were constantly like buying stuff and just, out trying to outbeat who can get the better toy. And then eventually we ended up just building this whole entire thing. And then, diving more into the toy world, I started getting more into like hot toys and statues
Mhm.
because I loved how real they
Mhm.
looked. So I ended up just buying more of these. And then eventually it took its own
It's
addiction.
just gone up from
Yeah, it
there.
just
So
went up from there.
so people might not know, but your husband has his own shop. Or your
Yeah, he
fiance,
has
I
his own
should say, sorry.
collectible store.
Yeah, your
Oh,
fiance.
I didn't even know
So,
that. That's cool.
yeah, so if you wanted to talk about that a little bit, or like how.
So yeah, so he has a collectible store that's been around for 7 years. It's called WAYBACKWHEN. It's a collectible oddities antique store. So he basically carries everything from like military vinyls, vintage toys, taxidermy, jewelry, just basically sports, basically anything you can think of that you would want in a store to basically grab different people's attention. It's in that store. And that's where we actually met. I walked in there one day because my friend Lewis was telling me about it because there was Joey had this awesome original Burger King glass display from Star
Oh
Wars.
wow.
So I went there to go check it out, and he actually had like all sealed original toys from like Power of the Force of like Boba Fett's slave ship.
Mhm.
So I ended up buying one, and then we became really good friends, and then after that friends went to
Other things. Yeah.
dating to then yeah, you know
Yeah,
how it
yeah.
works.
That's sweet.
But yeah, sometimes, we're fortunate. Sometimes he'll get some really cool stuff in the store. And sometimes I'll give him like that little doe-eyed look, like, I want this.
Yeah, like,
Don't
you
sell
don't
it.
need to sell that. That can just come home.
You don't need to sell that. Like, I try to use Jedi
Yeah.
mind tricks.
So people can sell things to that shop, or how did you get the inventory?
Yeah, so my fiance has his estate auctioneer's license, so he does a lot of like estate sales. But we also, like the store has a slogan where we buy, sell, and trade. So a lot of people come in, they sometimes sell their collections to us, or sometimes somebody will trade something that they really want for something else.
Mhm.
So that's just how it goes.
And he just launched a YouTube channel not too long ago, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
He had a lot of people like constantly always asking him. They wanted to see like the behind the scenes of what
Yeah.
goes on in the store. And way before we met, he was on an episode of Miami Storage Wars.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
And
cool.
then
That's
yeah.
so cool.
And and then last year we were, I think, yeah, last year we were actually featured on this news station called Deco Drive, and they did like a whole segment on the store. And myself and Joey were part of it, and he like had me go into it more than he wanted to. He wanted to like showcase that there are women collectors
Mhm.
out there, and they do own stores, and they collect as well.
Yeah. His videos, chat, and everyone that's listening, his videos are really different. Like they almost feel like you're watching like a collecting style. Like he'll like kind of do like a post interview before you actually see the scene, and it's really professional looking, and I love it. I love the channel. It's super cool.
What's the name of that channel?
It's called Way Back When Collectibles and Antiques.
All right, everybody, if you're listening, go check that out.
Jeremiah
Like,
will put it
comment,
in the
subscribe.
description as
I'll
well.
put it in the description.
But yeah. So
Yeah, my cousin and Joey's dynamic is really great. Like my cousin is our actual he does all the filming, the editing for the channel,
gotcha.
and the idea was that they wanted to make it seem like you were watching an actual
That's
show,
yeah.
not like your typical YouTube
Hmm.
channels. He wanted to make it seem like you were watching like, like Storage Wars or
Yep.
something like you would see on
Yep.
A&E.
That's what it feels like, because I mean, we do unboxing videos, right, on your channel. I do my own, and like they're super cool, and like people like them. But this feels like you're watching like an A&E, like Storage War kind of feel. Like it's like, oh, this conversation happened, and then you go to the scene, and you actually can like see them interacting. It's really cool concept. I like it. It probably takes a lot of work to put out episodes, I assume, but
Yeah, they film so they film from between sometimes from like Wednesday to Saturday, and then the following week they'll drop the video on Thursday. So like today they were just finishing editing last week's
mhm.
stuff that went on the store. So then they'll be dropping their new video on Thursday. But that was the concept that they wanted to do. Like they wanted to interview the people that came in with collections. If something rare came into the store, they kind of wanted to give you like a biography based on
Yep.
it. So it was just like to get people to learn, like, oh, like this
It's
is,
learning
like if
too.
somebody
You're like
says,
learning
yeah,
what
it's
what
learning.
certain toys are worth, or why like there's a history behind it too. It's really cool. It's gonna blow up. I know it is. It's gonna be good. So
I
shout
know
out to
everybody
him.
keeps telling them that they're waiting for it to
It's
like
gonna
blow
blow
up,
up.
and I know, yeah, I know it's gonna blow up. Like like I said, the two of them together is an awesome
That's
duo.
sweet. What is, it's not on the list, like what is that your favorite new thing that you have? Might be the the big thing to your right or to your left or whatever with the tail sticking out, but
Oh, the
the
Java,
job.
yes. I got this at ICC.
Yeah. I
Oh,
saw
dang.
that and I filmed it. It's super sick. Yeah, that's
That's
so
cool.
cool.
So it was funny. So like our flight to Tennessee, Joey and I kept giving each other like a spending cap
Mhm.
on how
Makes
much we were
sense.
allowed to spend.
My wife gave me one too,
And
and I broke it, but
I know we broke it like immediately. As soon as we got there, day one, it was like, okay, we're buying this, this, and this. I got all my signatures out the
Mhm.
way. I bought t-shirts, posters. I got a whole bunch of Timothy Zahn books signed. And then we went to this one booth, and they had this bad boy there. And they told us a price, and we both kept just looking at each other. And then finally, I just told Joey, I'm like, let's just go half on it. So you're not spending all your money, and I'm not spending all my money. So we basically went half on an investment and bought this. And out of, the early bird special that we have here from Star Wars, this is probably my second favorite item here in the house.
Yeah, it's a cool piece. It's a conversation piece for sure. It's so cool.
Yeah, and it like immediately when you walk into the room, like you see this.
Yeah. I mean, well, you see the other stuff hanging above your head too, but that's definitely
Yeah.
there. Is that to scale with Hot Toys?
Yeah, this is a sideshow exclusive. So
Okay.
yeah, it's to scale with Hot Toys.
That's sweet. All right, we can move on a little bit, Jeremiah, if you feel.
Well, I have one toy question for you.
Oh, sweet.
What is your like holy grail thing that you want to own someday?
Oh,
now obviously there's the original like Boba Fett figure with the shootable thing,
That is the one.
but other than that, is there anything else that's like more realistic for you? Maybe.
I don't know. Like, man. So I follow the gentleman, I forgot his last name now, but his name is Steve, and he is the guy who has the Guinness Book of World Records of like the largest Star Wars collection known to man.
Rancho Obi-Wan is what it's called.
Yeah, Rancho Obi-Wan.
Yes, yeah.
And some of the stuff he has on there, it's like, for a fact they have top security in there.
Yes.
And he also he's one of the many people that has the prototype Boba Fett that has the missile firing.
There's 2 of them, I think.
So he has 2 of them. Yeah, that's so sad.
Yeah.
But I would definitely love to own that. And then possibly I would like to own he has the actual original prop of the Han Carbonite.
Oh, dang.
What?
So yeah, from the movie set. So I actually would like to own that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, but instead I ended up getting the baby version of it. So that's it.
Hey,
you can get you can get the fridge magnet that's like that, or you can just put it on. You get this like if your fridge is like a silver front fridge, you get the big magnets like to scale, and it looks like your fridge is Han Solo.
Well, I did see that Regal Robot released a dining room table for it, but it's like $22,000.
Oh dang,
oh, that's sick.
Drew, did you see that link I sent you with the tauntauns?
Maybe, I don't know.
Oh, you can buy like to scale tauntaun bus. It's like $4,000 for like no snow. If you want snow, it's like $6,000 or something like that.
Oh my!
From Regal Robot, right?
I don't remember. I just sent them. I drew the link, but
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Regal Robot. They did the tauntaun, and then they just did 2 different versions of Chewbacca bust. They did one with him normal, and then they did the roaring Chewbacca.
Oh, that's so cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but it's like
super
so high up in number.
Yeah, I can't.
Super expensive.
Wow. That's crazy. So
right.
Besides Star Wars, you just collect a lot of like monster stuff and horror stuff, or is there other stuff?
Yeah, I like horror stuff as well, and my little like small little collection that I have, which eventually maybe one day I'll turn it into a big collection too. But I love Haunted Mansion from Disney.
Oh, okay, sweet. Do you collect like Marvel Legends and stuff, or not really?
No, not really. My fiance does, but he mostly collects like the DC multiverses.
Okay.
So he literally has every one that's been released.
Wow, that's cool.
And they've been hiding inside of a drawer, like literally inside of a closet that we have.
It's just like
every time
stacked.
One releases, yeah, they're like stacked. I posted a picture like a while back on our store's page of like a private collection, and it almost was like touching the roof.
Crazy. That's so cool. Yeah, because you always talk about how when you want to buy something, and sometimes your fiance will like undercut you and buy it before you can get it, and like it's like a battle, and it's like annoying for you. And like I wish I had that problem, because my wife is not like that at all. Like I have this little hub, like corner of my office is like that, and then I have like a Peloton and like all her stuff, and I just have this little tiny nook that's my stuff. So I wish I had that problem.
Yeah, he always undercuts me like on Macari. He did that to me with one. I wanted one of those like NECA Scream figures,
Mhm.
and I went to go get it and I found one like reasonably cheap. And then when I went to go hit pay, it sold.
Oh.
And then
Oh.
it showed up like 3 days later in the house. And I looked at him and I was like, did you really like snipe me and buy it? And he was like laughing.
You still get it though. It's
That's
like,
funny.
No, it's technically
oh,
his.
okay.
He was like, it's going to my collection. I'm like, okay.
Wow. You're engaged, so once you get married, then it's yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not gonna sign a prenup, are you? All right. All right, that's cool. All right, that's the toy talk. But when I was looking on your Instagram, it says that you are an ambassador for Her Universe. So what
Yeah.
exact is that, like an official thing, or is that a self-entitled thing, or what? Let us know more about that. And for those of you who don't know, maybe you could
No.
explain what Her Universe is.
So Her Universe is a brand they Ashley Eckstein, who's the voice actress for Ahsoka Tano and the Clone Wars, she created. And it was just she wanted to create, like fun, awesome clothes to wear and to be able to like cosplay, but not cosplay, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean. But yeah, I fell in love with that company. I loved all the clothes that they were always releasing. And in the beginning, they were doing Star Wars. And then she started diving into different fandoms. And just, I kept buying stuff from them. And like friends of mine kept telling me, like, dude, you should be a brand ambassador. And I was like, what's that? And I looked on their website and they had this thing where they send you clothes, you get to pick. They issue different campaigns every month, which like today they send me two, and you click on it, and if you want to participate, they'll send you a couple clothes that they're thinking about doing for that campaign, and then out of the three that you pick, they send you one.
Okay.
Mhm.
So recently the last one I did was for Star Wars Celebration. They released like a Queen Amidala, like a nice little jacket, and it came with
Mhm.
like the headpiece over and like these beautiful buttons. Did that one. Um One that I missed, which was the Umbrella Academy, and they send you like the whole school
Oh, that's
outfit.
cool.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, and then the one that I just got picked now is for the Loki collection. So they're going to be sending me like a Loki cardigan shirt.
That's so cool. So that's like all gifted to you. You just have to post about it and like rep it
Yeah, and
essentially.
you have to like promote it
Mhm.
and stuff and like yeah, just send people over to like buy
Yep.
it. But in all honesty, like I actually still like this is Her
Yeah,
Universe.
yeah.
So most of my clothes is all from either Her Universe or from Imperial Merch Co. So like
Okay.
most of my clothing is either horror or Star
Mhm.
Wars.
Which is cool because like you're gonna spend that money anyways. So for you to get a piece of like that collection for free, and all you have to do is rep it, and that's what you're gonna do anyways. Like that's so cool that you're able to do that. Like my wife used to do that for Fossil, and it was super
Ooh,
cool
okay.
because we would like she would get like, all right, you can pick 5 things or whatever in a month, and she would get like all the new watches, and then it got to the point where you have like a wall of just like Fossil watches, and we didn't even use them, and she's just like, I don't want to do this anymore, so she stopped, and then we just sold, like gave them all away and stuff. But yeah, it's and my wife's
The
kind of
one thing I do the one thing I do love about Her Universe is like you get to meet all these different people
mhm,
in like that small community. So I've become friends with a lot of like other people that live in other
yeah,
states. And the cool thing is like if they do like a Her Universe party somewhere near your state, like they'll invite you
that's
and
so cool.
Ashley takes everybody out and she does
Yeah.
like bowling stuff and she always hits like different states just to like, say hi to the brand
Mhm.
ambassadors.
That's
Well,
cool.
well, speaking of Ashley, do you want to talk about your cool tattoo that you just recently got not too long ago?
So, there was a con here in Orlando called MegaCon, And before MegaCon, I had met Ashley at ICC, and I was supposed to get an Ahsoka Tano headpiece tattoo, but I don't know why the tattoo artist there just didn't rub me the right way,
Oh.
and I didn't feel confident about
Mhm.
him tattooing me. So I was just like, we'll do this at another time. So I was able to ask my friend Adam, who's my tattoo artist, if he could do the Ahsoka Tano headpiece. And then I had contacted JSA, which is an authenticator for signatures. And I asked them, do they they ever done like an authentication on
On a
skin?
person.
And they're like, what do you, on a person? And I was like, they at first they were like, what do you mean? And I was like, I'm going to get, a famous person to sign their signature on my leg. I'm going to get it tattooed, but I also want it authenticated. And they're like, yeah, we think we can do that. And they were like, you'll be the first, but we're pretty sure we can do that. So I was like, okay. So my friend Jackie actually works for Ashley, and she kind of like set it up.
She's flexing, Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Just let her
How do
flex,
you,
okay?
how do you know all these people? This is crazy. But
So yeah, like my friend Ashley, I mean Jackie actually works for Ashley. She's been traveling with her now for like the past year and a half, and I was messaging her, and she even reached out to me like 4 days before MegaCon, and she's like, "Hey, are you still getting Ashley to sign your leg?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "All right, get here early." She's like, "I'll make sure that you're one of the first people that Ashley sees." So
So
I'm like,
cool.
"Okay." Got there super early. Ashley saw me and she like started laughing, and she's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you're really going to do it." And she's like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Yes, I'm 100% sure." And I got it all on video. My friend Elijah filmed the whole entire event. And then as soon as she was done signing, I like ran over to JSA. They authenticated it, and then I ran over to another tattoo artist named Kelly, had him tattoo her signature, and then I had to run back to JSA to show it to them. And then I went back to Ashley's booth because her parents were like, we want to see this when you're done. And I went back to her parents and I showed them the authentication receipt. And her parents were just cracking up, and Ashley was just like laughing.
Yeah.
that's
So she
a
she has a
crazy story.
headpiece of Ahsoka and tattooed by Ashley, and it's authenticated. So
And then I just got the authentication letter like 5 days ago.
cool.
I
So
saw that on Instagram. That I was like, that's weird. I didn't know you could do that like on a
I
tattoo.
know, and it says like human. Says it's like the caption is hilarious. Literally says like human tattoo. Like I don't. It's pretty funny.
that's
Yeah,
so cool.
that's
So
funny.
don't lose that leg. You gotta keep it safe.
I'm just saying.
Well, my fiance was like telling my mom he's gonna carve off my like skin and then sell the signature because I had. So we posted that whole event on
Yeah.
TikTok, and I got like 25,000 views, and people were like, "How much is your leg worth?" And I'm like, "I don't know." So I went on eBay, looked at what her signature was worth, and I'm like, "Okay, so a JSA signature, I think it's roughly like between $600 to $700."
So yeah,
But you're
your
also
leg's worth it.
you're at one of a kind though. It's like on a human leg.
True.
So if you had to have it amputated, like God forbid, we don't want you to lose your leg, but if you had
But
to,
there's money involved.
you could like
Well, technically, I was told by Ashley that I would have to return. She asked me to give her back the signature. She was like so morbid about it. She was like, "Hey, if anything ever happens to you," she's like, she goes, "You should
Just bring
tell
it
them
back
to
to me.
give me back."
yeah.
Yeah, she's like, "Bring it back to me." I was like, "What?" And she's like, "I'm just kidding." And I was like, "Okay."
It's your leg in a giant jar of like yellow liquid, like preserving your leg.
Like the
But
clones.
yeah,
That
like
would be-
Yeah,
oh
like the
gross.
clones.
But yeah, so her universe. So I've been on the website. It seems to be mostly geared towards girls and women, but there is also men's and boys things
But
on there
didn't
as
they
well.
launch his universe as well recently? Or they're
I
going
think
to?
they did, but they're slowly going to. So
Mhm.
there's about, I think there's 5 male ambassadors. One of them is my friend Augie, and they're slowly now getting towards like having more men
Mhm.
clothing
Or
for her
is it
universe.
is it gonna be his universe or their universe? I don't remember what she said.
I think it's gonna be his
Okay.
universe.
Yeah, I don't remember what, because I think she mentioned that at ICCC on that podcast episode she did, but I don't remember exactly what she said.
Maybe I need to be a brand ambassador for his
Yeah.
universe. That'd be cool.
You just
Get a
want to
bunch-
meet Ashley, that's all.
Hey, I'm just saying it'd be cool to meet her. I'm not hell bent on it, but
She's super cool.
Yeah.
yeah. All right, cool. So that's her universe. Go check that website out if you want some cool Star Wars and other like movie attire stuff that's really unique that you're not gonna find.
Tell them that
anywhere else.
Nilda sent you.
Yep. All right, Drew. What's the? We might as well start jumping into our ranking stuff. So, Drew, what's the first topic?
All right, so the first topic of our ranking. Now, Nilda, I don't know if Jeremiah told you, but these are all things that we have previously done episodes on. And so we've done them in top 5, but we're shortening it so that you don't have to have 5 of everything because that's a lot. So we're doing 2, and the first one is the top 2 ships. What is your top 2 favorite ships of all time?
So number 2, starting from your bottom and then work your way up to top.
All right, so number 2 will be the Millennium Falcon.
Okay.
And why do you say that?
And then because of my number 1.
Oh, okay.
So my number 1 is a Star Destroyer.
Okay.
Okay.
Absolutely love
any
it.
Specific Star Destroyer or just in general the Star Wars, like that?
Just in general.
Cool.
So I have the Lego set of the Star Destroyer, and it's just absolutely beautiful. Just every little layout of it, and to me it's just one of those bad ships that you need to have in your collection.
And why do you have the Millennium Falcon? Like, what's so great about the Millennium Falcon?
Because it's the Millennium Falcon. Like, it is one of those well-known ships, and I have a soft spot for Harrison Ford, and I love Han Solo, and it's just it's that iconic ship.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Solid choices.
Solid. No complaints.
Can't go wrong. No complaints.
I know. I was indecisive because like my other favorite ship is the TIE Fighter.
Oh.
But I was like, I love the Star Destroyer more.
Not the Slave One? You're not like a Boba Fett kind
of? Don't get me wrong, I love the Slave One, but I'm upset that they have changed the name.
Spray. Come on, let's get it right.
Okay, no.
Yeah, is it Fire Spray?
Is that what's called, right? Fire Spray?
Or Starship?
It's
I think it's the Starship. I think they've changed the name so much.
It was when they changed it called Boba Fett Starship, and then they changed it, I think, to the Fire Spray after the Book of Boba came out. But it's a Slave One forever. I don't even care.
Yeah, it's Slave One forever to me.
Yeah. All right, cool. All right, next ranking topic is your top 2 sabers, lightsabers.
Hilts, obviously.
The hilts, right? So it's like it can be hard for some people because some people like don't even really pay attention to the hilts because they see flashy colors and think cool. But there's a lot of cool sabers out there, so if you pay attention, cool design. So what would you say are your favorite hilt designs for sabers?
So I love Obi-Wan's. And then recently, last year, I had picked up the Dark Saber. And I just love that hilt. My favorite color is black. So
makes sense.
That's a good color.
It's an all black saber. It has like the matte on it. And it just embodies, like what a somebody evil.
Yeah. Which one did you pick up? The Disney or the Black Series version?
The Black Series.
Because
it's pretty heavy.
Out of the 2 to get, the Black Series one is actually the one that people are saying to get, not the Disney one.
Yeah, I got to see the Disney one. A friend of mine had it, and I wasn't a big fan of it. I love the blade, but the actual hilt itself, the Black Series one is the best one.
Yeah. Well, and even the blade, the tip doesn't even fully glow, which is kind of
it doesn't
annoying too. So, but that's sweet. Yeah, I've been trying to find the Black Series version myself because it looks so dope.
Yeah, when they had released it, I like ordered it immediately, and then when it got delivered, like I had friends of mine and like like my Star Wars group chats that were like, dude, how did you get it so fast? I'm like, I don't know. It just
Yeah, I
showed up.
pre-ordered mine at GameStop and then I canceled it because I found I was having a kid and I was like, I probably shouldn't be buying this right now. So
You're like, do I pay for my child or do I get a
yeah, it was like one
lightsaber?
of those things at first. Now I kind of regret not buying it, but it's okay.
So you mentioned Obi-Wan's saber. Any specific one? Because I think he's had, is it 2 or
He's had
3?
2. I personally like the first one that he got, which is from the Phantom Menace.
All right.
I specifically like that one because it's actually Ewan McGregor got to pick that one. If you
Right.
watched any of like the behind the
Yep.
scenes for Phantom Menace, George Lucas actually let him pick his own hilt.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And then like everyone else just
So-
got these the rest of the pile. All right, Mace Windu, you get this
Yeah,
one.
and everyone else got the rest
Daddy,
of the
you
pile.
get this one. Like it was kind of funny how they did that, but that is cool because it was very similar to Qui-Gon. So like I'm assuming Obi-Wan picked his, and then they made one that looked like it to be Qui-Gon's. I don't know exactly how they did that, but
Yeah, they were kind of similar to each other.
so that's cool. All right. So that's lightsabers. Drew, what's the next topic?
What is your top 2 favorite droids?
Ooh, there's a lot to choose from.
True.
So my second one is Chopper.
Okay.
Solid.
Solid answer. We like that.
And then Chopper used to actually be my first one. And then Rogue One came out.
I know it.
And K2SO.
Okay.
Absolutely love him.
Yes.
If you see my Instagram handle photo, it's me and a life-size K2SO. I would love one day to find somebody who can make one for me. I would love to have a life-size one. I have all the Black Series figures of him, and I've been trying to find a decent priced one as a hot toy, but it's wildly
Really
expensive. It's like $700.
Yeah, no, he was my favorite droid, and actually, was it last week was Lucy's favorite K2SO as well? No, that was her second favorite.
Her second favorite. I can't remember.
Yeah.
What was her first? I can't.
The droid, Lando's droid.
Oh, L3. Yeah.
L3, yeah.
Yeah.
But
so
K2SO is, I think, a lot of people's favorite.
yeah,
It's-
gets
Yeah.
better with
he's the
time,
best.
and I'm sure you're excited because you're going to see some more of him in the Andor series coming out soon.
yes.
I know.
So
And I've been flirting around like on Pinterest and trying to find like little tiny, because I have a whole Star Wars sleeve. So I've been trying to find like little tiny pictures of like K2SO's like actual head
Mhm.
to try to like add it to my Star
Your
Wars sleeve.
That's so cool. Yeah, I think I'm excited to see if we can see the origin story of the development of like he was an Empire droid and then got switched over. Like I think that would be really cool in this next show, and hopefully we get to see that. Yeah, he's for
I know.
sure
I'm
my
very
favorite.
excited about Andor.
have
Do
you
you-
have
Go
you
ahead.
watched any of the special features for Rogue One? Because they have a whole segment on how they created K2SO. They had like
No.
700 designs that they wanted. They went with.
720.
Is that on the DVD?
No, it's
No, it's
on,
on
Disney
Disney
Plus.
Okay,
Well,
I'm definitely gonna have to watch that tonight
So
for
they
sure.
had like 700 different drawings or something like that of different faces, or body type.
720, Jeremiah.
And so like you saw like all these iterations of what they wanted, and that's the one that they kind of ended with was what we got. So that's a really cool. It's only like 2-3 minutes or 5 minutes or something like that. Really quick little featurette. But if you like K2SO,
All right, I'll definitely check that out
watch
tonight.
that out. All right.
Nilda, have you seen the die-cast Disney version of K2SO?
Yes.
Do you have that one?
No.
That's like the only cool one I have is I have that die-cast one. I think I got it for like $10. Like I don't even know when, but like their Black Series that they're trying to push, that they're all metal. So I have like the whole cast in all metal, and the face sculpts are awful. But the K2SO is like the coolest one because it's not like a legit face sculpt, and it's all metal, and he's heavy as heck. It's like maybe like 3 pounds, and it's like only this big.
I'll have to pick that up
Yeah,
then.
you can find them. I think like $20, something like that. Like they're not that expensive, and they're out of all of those versions, that's like the best one for sure.
I think like the coolest picture I have. So when Rogue One first came out, like the Disney stores
Mm-hmm.
used to do this thing where like if when the movie came out on DVD, if you bought the movie from the actual Disney store,
Mm-hmm.
they would give you like these photos like professional still
Mm-hmm.
photos from the movie. So I have one where it's Cassian and the side profile of
That's so
K2SO,
Oh,
cool.
that's
and
cool.
it's just one of my favorite photos from that
Yeah,
movie.
when I went to Galaxy's Edge, I got like the cast and like one of those. It's right there. You can kind of see it, but it's in like the white framed, and it's like a professional
Yeah.
photo. And yeah, Rogue One is like one of my top favorite movies. So I
Yeah, it's one of my top.
so.
I saw that opening night in the theaters and my
Mm-hmm.
mind was just like completely blown. And then I saw it opening night and then I saw it 2 days later and then I saw it a week later. I think I saw it like 4 times while I was still in
Yeah,
theaters.
it's like the one movie that I said this last week too, but it's like the one movie that if I'm like, all right, honey, can we watch Star Wars, please? And she's not like a diehard fan or anything, and she's like, if we do, it has to be Rogue One because that's like the only movie she likes because Donnie Yang's in it, and yeah, she has a crush on him, so that's why. But
Well, who doesn't?
yeah,
Come on.
It's
Come
Donnie,
on.
it's Donnie
I mean,
Yen.
I know, but
All right.
What was it? He was in what's
Ip Man.
the Ickman?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
Really good.
who
she
was
grew up
Bruce
watching those
Lee's
movies. Yeah,
mentor.
she grew up watching those movies, so for her it was like really cool when he was added in. And you don't know, but she's Asian, so for her it was like a big deal to have like those influences as
Okay.
well. So yeah, it
Well,
was
I'm half Asian as
oh sweet,
well.
yeah. So it was a big deal when that movie came out. So it was really cool.
Yeah, of course. It's the biography of Bruce Lee's teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty cool.
So it was a big
Yep.
deal.
All right, cool. All right, those were top two droids.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what is your top two musical themes or musical songs from the soundtracks in Star Wars? Because we did two full podcast episodes on the music of Star Wars, and we think that the music is like the breath of Star Wars. If you take away the music, Star Wars just dies. It's just not the same. So the music is so
Oof.
important. So what are your top two musical aspects, themes, songs, whatever in Star Wars?
So my second one is from Samuel Kim, which is Star Killer's theme.
Oh, okay. Okay. Taken from
Th-
some EU Star Wars music.
Yeah, it is. I have that saved on my Apple Music library, and sometimes when it pops up in my car when I'm driving to work, I'm like, yeah. I'm like, like this morning is gonna go great. And then, I have to go with Duel of the Fates
Oh,
Yeah.
as my number
solid
one.
choice.
I'll be honest with you, when they first dropped the first trailer,
Oh.
like the first full trailer to Obi-Wan
Yep.
Kenobi, I was at work and I didn't even know that my coworker was filming my reaction
Oh, that's
while
awesome.
I was watching it. And while we heard Duel of the Fates, like the amount of tears pouring out of my eyes, and my coworkers were cracking up. And when I turned around, they were like, "We got this all on film for you." And I was like, "Oh my God, please stop."
Delete it right now. Yeah.
Yeah. And they were like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "They played this." I'm like, "Oh my gosh." Like I was
Yeah.
freaking out.
I
I
think
wish they
everybody
would have
cried during that trailer.
played that more throughout the show.
Yeah. I
I
don't think they
know.
played it at
I,
all,
I
did
think
they?
they did that as like a hype.
Yeah, did they even play it?
Not even. I don't think they play it once in the whole show.
No, I think they played it in the last episode.
No, I
Did
don't think
they?
I
so.
don't think
I don't think
so.
so. I'm pretty sure the song was just used as
Oh,
like a
it
hype
worked.
thing.
It
I mean,
worked.
I don't know if you
Because if
saw my
you,
reaction video, but
oh yeah,
I
I
was
saw your
freaking
reaction.
out when it
Your face, you were like,
yeah, I was so hyped.
I remember like as soon as I finished watching it, I called Joey and I was like, "Oh my gosh, the trailer for Obi-Wan Kenobi." He's like, "Are you crying?" And I was like, "Yes, I'm crying." And then I watched it again. I started crying. I get home and we're watching with our kids, and I started crying even more. And I remember my son was like, "Are you crying?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm crying."
Like, what the heck, Mom? What are you doing?
They're like, "Why do you keep crying?" And I was like, "It's doing the
So
face."
good.
I was like, "It's Obi-Wan." I was like, "Oh my gosh." Anything Star Wars, I'm a hot mess.
Well, and this is completely off topic, but I remember so when they changed the time of the in the middle of the night, they're like, "Oh, by the way, Kenobi's coming out super early." I messaged you right away. I was like, "Hey, just so you know, Kenobi's like coming out in 30 minutes," and you had this whole plan. You're gonna do a watch stream at 3
Dude, I
in the
was
morning.
so mad. I had this all meticulously planned. So I got home from work early. We made dinner early. I was gonna go. I told Joey, I was like, I'm gonna sleep on the couch, not to bother
When I
you.
get up,
When I get out of the room, my son as well was like, hey, I'm gonna get you up at 2:30 in the morning. We're gonna set up the whole living room. I'm gonna, broadcast everything. And as soon as you sent me the message, I like jumped out of the couch because I went to take a 2.5 hour
yeah,
nap just so I didn't look like all groggy. Cause when we did the live stream for Bad Batch, I was dying. I was falling asleep so
oh
bad.
wow,
It wasn't because it was boring, it was
it's
just because I stayed
yeah,
up all night
yeah,
and I didn't get 1 ounce of sleep. So when you messaged me and you were like, hey, so by the way, it's coming out at midnight, I was like, what?
yeah.
And I remember logging on to Disney Plus's like Twitter account and they were like, yeah, by the way, so, because it's Celebration, we're going to drop it at midnight. I was like,
Yeah,
and I remember messaging all my friends who I was supposed to do the live stream with. And I was like, hey guys, Disney got us. They got us this time. And a whole bunch of them are from California. So our time differences
yeah.
were so bad and they were
Already asleep.
completely knocked out. They were asleep.
Yeah,
So I ended up just watching it. My cousin ended up staying and we ended up watching it. And I was just like, this the whole entire time.
yeah,
Yeah. So Lucy, who we interviewed last week, was at Celebration, and she was able to watch the first 2 episodes back to back in like the auditorium at Star Wars
like with
Celebration with thousands
with the
of people.
cast too.
I know I was watching so many people's videos.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was crazy. And she's one of our younger listeners too, and she's been like really diehard since the beginning, which is why we had her on. She actually started her own podcast as well. So for her, she was like, it was my first watching experience of Star Wars ever. Like she
Like
never watched
Oh,
she never
none
wow.
of
seen any of
them.
them.
That's so
Never
cool.
saw
That
any of
was
the
her first
movies in the
experience. I'm
theater.
like, well, that's like the best experience of all time. Like you can't beat that.
I know for the longest time I kept saying that I wanted to go to Celebration and I was thinking about doing like the craziest thing ever, but I kept like thinking time. Like time was not my friend.
Weren't you
I
gonna
kept
go like
thinking
one
about going.
day, and
I was
then
going to do like a 1 day
yeah,
thing. I was going to leave here at the crack of dawn, get there, take an Uber straight to Celebration, run real quick to go do the whole Ewan McGregor experience, say hi to like a whole bunch of my buddies in the Star Wars community, and then take an Uber back to the airport and fly back. And I had found a flight, like everything
yeah,
was fitting, but it was just like, what if the line doesn't go fast? What if
yeah.
I accidentally forget the time because I'm talking to,
Your friends
Star
or
Wars
yeah,
replicas, my friends and stuff like that,
you,
and I
you get
forget that I'm
distracted so
stuck in
easily.
California.
Yeah, yeah.
That's funny.
I think there was like some podcast. I think it was the podcast you were on, and I was listening to you do that. I'm like, that's not gonna work. She's not gonna be able to do that at all.
I know. I kept thinking about it. And we kept looking online, and I was like, that price is not bad.
Yeah,
I was like, it's doable. But I was like, what if I mess up? I was like, time is not my friend.
yeah. But did you get your tickets for London?
So we did the math. It's as much as I would love to go to England,
Mhm.
it's not it's not worth it if it makes any
No, no,
sense
no. Yeah.
because I have to renew my passport. Joey has to renew his
Hmm.
passport. Both boys have to renew their passport. You know, hotels, flight.
Flying
And
all
I'm the
your
type of person
family.
like
Yeah. Oof.
yeah, and I'm the type that like I don't want to just go to England just for that,
Oh
especially it
no.
being my first time.
Yeah.
I want to make it like a 2 week thing.
At least a
So it's
minimum. If you're
like,
going to Europe, it has to be at least 2 weeks.
yeah. So I figured I'm like, you know what? when they come back to the States, I'll just do that.
Mhm.
And then, ICC is coming up.
Yeah.
And, I have a feeling that Michael Haven said that next year it's going to be wildly insane, especially since they got a bigger venue. So
With a bigger
I'm
venue,
like,
and then also because of that, like a lot of people aren't going to be going to Europe, so a lot of those people are able to they're more free in the States, so who knows who's going to
well,
be coming.
also, to also look at it, they're also doing it during Memorial Day
Mhm.
weekend.
Yeah.
So it's either going to be like completely slammed, or it's going to be like how it was last year, this year it was incredible. That was, I've been to Celebration, but this was probably one of the best fan experiences I've ever
Yeah.
had at a con, just for Star
Yeah.
Wars.
No, ICCC was like one of the bigger cons I've been to, and it was. I mean, it's not even that big. I mean, MegaCon, the one you just went to, that was huge. So it's like not even near that
Yeah.
big, but it's for Star Wars, and that's it. And I just felt like I was in heaven. Like it was the best thing ever. So I can't even imagine. I haven't been to a celebration, and I can't imagine what that would be like. But ICCC will suffice for me for now because I'm not going to.
Oh yeah, dude, I felt like I was in heaven when we went to ICC. Like
Mm,
everybody there was just super
yep.
sweet. People were talking. I love the whole concept of like the after hours hotel
Yeah,
show.
I didn't get to
And it
do
was like,
that, which I was kind of mad. Well, because
really?
we stayed at
Oh,
Airbnb, like I think like 10 minutes away or something. So, and I was with one of our older co-hosts, and then one of our mods, and both of them were like, "All right, we did con, we're done." And I was like, "Well, there's stuff tonight, but okay, fine, we can just go back." And then
yeah, we stayed at an outside hotel as well,
mhm.
but we were just like, we're gonna hang out because everybody kept telling us like, don't leave.
Well, especially
You're
your
gonna want to
fiance's like
experience
your
this.
fiance's business, like is
Yeah.
thriving in those situations like that. So.
But you know what the cool thing was about that? It was you even got to hang out with some of the celebrities.
Yeah. So,
They literally were just hanging out there, just as normal people, getting drinks at the bar,
mm,
sitting down. You can actually walk up to them and interact with them. And it was just awesome. Like, I got to talk to Timothy Zahn after the whole con.
mhm.
I spoke to him and his wife for like about 15 minutes. Um, what is it? The actor who plays General Veers, like he was sitting down in the lounge area just drinking a whole bottle of wine, and we got to talk to him as well.
Damn.
And he was like super
Just turning
cool.
up.
And they were all just like walking around like as
Yeah.
if nothing, like they were ordinary people.
Yeah.
But Drew met Ian McDermott in the bathroom though, so that
I
was
did.
pretty cool.
So after
Oh.
that first intro panel to like the press and whatever that he did, like I went to the
Mhm.
bathroom like right after, and so he did too. And I was like in the urinal, just going to the bathroom, and then he comes up to me, and I had my camera. You saw my camera. I had the tripod, and I had it
Yeah.
facing the urinal just so like I'm not gonna hold it and go to the bathroom at the same time. And he was like, "So your camera's going to the bathroom too, huh?" And I was like, uh-huh. Yep. Whatever you say, Palps. Yep.
Oh my
And then I
gosh.
like got out of there, and then like I didn't want to keep talking to him in the bathroom. It's so awkward. And then I was like, "You guys, you don't understand what just happened to me." So that was like my Ian experience, which is pretty cool.
That happened to my friend at SuperCon with Hayden Christensen. So like he was walking around the con with a V for Vendetta mask when he wanted like no one to
Oh,
recognize
really?
him.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
So my buddy dresses up as Darth Vader, and he said that he was in the bathroom peeing and he could feel somebody staring at him, and he said he like looked over to his right and some dude in a V for Vendetta mask was looking at him, and he said to him like, "Oh, nice suit." And he goes, "Oh, thanks." And then he goes, "Yeah, I wear it from time to time." And then he
Oh
took off the
heck
V for Vendetta
no!
mask, and my friend said he almost like peed all over him.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh my gosh." And then he was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Love this suit." And he was like, "I just took a photo with you." And he was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Dude, you guys are awesome from the 501st." he's like, just wanted to say, thanks. I appreciate for everything you do. And my friend said he talked to him for like 5 minutes. They went to the sink. They like washed their hands. And then he proceeded to put back on the mask and he like left.
Dude, that's
Okay.
so crazy. That's cooler
But
than
like my
mine.
friend described it in a more like vulgar way. He was like, dude, I was like holding my stuff while looking at him and talking.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right. Well, those are your top 2 musical themes and songs. So before we transition to the next one, we have a sponsor for today's episode that we have every episode, and it's Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea. And so if you are looking for a great coffee bean that you can just order right to your house and have the best coffee in the galaxy, let's hear a word from our sponsor.
Hey everyone, Andrew here. I'm pleased to tell you that the sponsor of today's episode is Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea. If you don't know anything about Wesley Andrews, you definitely should. They're an award-winning coffee roaster and shop in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they make fantastic coffee. The awesome thing is that whether you live in the Twin Cities or not, you can get their coffee beans delivered straight to your door by ordering them online. They even have a subscription service that ensures you never run out of amazing coffee. If you've been looking for some new coffee to try or a way to elevate your normal coffee routine, now's your chance. Head over to wesleyandrews.cc, use the code EMPIRERADIO, that's with a capital E and a capital R with no space at checkout, to get 15% off your first purchase of any bags of coffee or a coffee subscription. I can't think of a better deal. Get 15% off some great coffee, support a small business, and support your favorite Star Wars podcast. In the words of Emperor Palpatine, do it.
Do it.
All right, do it. All right,
Do it.
Drew. What's the next
Alrighty.
topic? Now we're
So-
starting to get into some of the important things.
Yes. I mean, the music stuff is pretty good. but
Yeah,
yeah,
it is. It is.
so, top 2 characters.
Ooh, that's a lot of characters to choose from in all of Star Wars.
Yes.
So, what's your number 2?
Oh boy. All right, it's gonna have to be Ahsoka.
Okay.
Perfect. That's solid choice. Has to be in
Solid,
everyone's
solid.
top 5. So,
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to
And
be
then
number
number
1,
one-
but
No, number 1 is my number 1 love, Darth Vader.
Oh, okay.
oh, yeah.
All right, cool.
I don't think that was in any of our top 5.
So here's the thing. When we originally did our top 5s, we talked about Vader versus Anakin. And we said if you go with Vader, it's just Vader. But if you go with Anakin, it includes Vader.
Oh, yeah, that's what we did.
Oh no.
So,
I'm gonna go with Vader. I
Okay.
like the
Okay.
the sadistic
Mhm.
Sith Lord
all right. Cool.
Especially
that we got to see at the end of
Woo!
Obi-Wan.
That Vader.
Woo!
Or even in was that episode 3 when he's walking through the little village and grabbing people out of their places and choking them and
I remember watching that episode and I just turned around and I was like texting friends and I was like, whoo, Disney went there.
Yep.
I was like, wow.
Yep.
And then it was funny because previous to that, we were talking on one of the shows that I'm on that we wish that Disney would kind of make like shows for adults.
Mhm.
Would be like more, not rated R, but like some of the shows that you would like to see kind of take a more,
Violent term.
violent
Yeah.
turn. You can do it as like an adult Disney where you have to like basically show proof that you're
Well,
over the age of 18.
Yeah, we've always talked about how we kind of want that, especially like if they did like a Vader show about like
Yeah, it would have to
post
be
this
rated
and
R.
they did like a rated R thing or TVMN or whatever, and it was like, especially they're like this is never gonna happen, but then they added all that Marvel stuff from Netflix, and you have to have a login in order to view that. Like you have to like say you're over 14. So I'm like,
Yeah.
they could do something like that. Like now it's possible. Will they? Probably not, but we can always.
Well, I thought it was
Oh.
funny. Like when that episode dropped, they actually did an article saying that the scenes were actually meant to be more violent, but they had to like
it
kind
down a
of
little bit.
tone it down because they knew a lot of kids were watching this, so they didn't want to, have already, people already have the image of Darth Vader. They didn't want him they didn't want to portray him as being like the actual violent guy that
Mhm.
we actually know.
Well, and like even what is it, episode 1, when Reva just cuts off that person's hand like right away. It's like, what the heck are we watching? Like, what are we about to see? So it definitely
I know
was a
every time
lot darker than normal.
I know, yeah. Every time I just kept saying, I was like, Disney.
Yeah,
I was like, what are you doing?
and I think the Andor show is gonna be like that too. It has that like eerie, dark feel to it, like within the trailers. And the
Yeah.
biggest thing about that was like Andor was talking about how he had to do a lot of bad things too in order to help the Empire, and he had to struggle with that a lot. So I think we're gonna see a lot of
Yeah.
cool
Yeah, Andor.
stuff.
I'm hyped for Andor. I think it's
Yeah.
I'm so hyped for
like
Andor.
no one cared about that show until we saw the trailer, and
Mhm.
they're like, "Oh crap, this is gonna be like this might be
Yep.
the best show out there." So
Yep.
we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, I'm pretty hyped about that. I'm hyped about Bad Batch season 2.
Mhm. Yep.
I'm so hyped for Ahsoka. I'm hyped for Mandalorian season 3.
Yeah.
I know that they haven't really hinted to us anything, but just the cast alone, I'm pretty excited for Skeleton Crew.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Yep.
just announced $130 million budget for
Budget.
which they
Oof.
say is it's more than Mando season 1, but like that was also made like 5 years ago. So like it's
Yeah.
inflation. It's just like that's things that get more expensive as you go. So it's the same thing, but
Yeah.
yes, it's because I was thinking like that show is probably gonna be like more like aimed for a younger audience, but with a budget like that, maybe it's not going to be as kid friendly as I thought it was
Yeah.
going to be. So
Another kid show I'm actually excited about is I like that it's going to be a kid show, but I know that it's going to be appealing as well to adults. I'm excited for Jedi Tales.
Yes.
You get to see Ahsoka's backstory
Mhm.
finally.
did you
Um,
see the bootleg trailer though from Celebration?
yeah,
It's definitely not for kids. This is more. This is like
yeah,
Clone Wars, like violent. Like
Clone Wars.
it's
Yeah.
some of those
Yeah.
scenes are intense. So I'm really excited for that too. And so at some point this fall, Andor, Bad Batch season 2, and Jedi Tales are all gonna be playing at the same time. So we're gonna be doing 3 episodes a
Episodes a
week.
week.
So
Yep. My wife's gonna leave
Oof.
me, but it's okay.
that's okay. It's
No,
not okay.
just kidding. She
If
won't.
Stephanie's gonna leave you, you can quit the podcast. We'll retire.
Nilda will
But
take my spot if that's the case.
all right, cool. So characters: Ahsoka and Darth Vader. Next topic is top 2 moments in all of Star Wars.
Oof.
A lot of emotional things, a lot of significant like philosophical things and moral things. Like there's a lot of things to choose from.
I
So
love you. I know. I mean, that's a really good
like
one.
yeah, like what
Oh boy. So, number 2 will be the conversation that Obi-Wan had with Luke Skywalker when he first met him, when he was telling him about his father being the best star pilot in the galaxy.
Oh, okay.
Just just seeing Alec Guinness's face as he's saying the story, it was like, it was probably one of the happiest moments ever in his life, but it was something that he missed. So I every time I see that scene, I always get like a little teary eyed. I always love that moment. Plus, I just love Alec Guinness's face. It's very expressive, and I think that was a perfect actor to play Obi-Wan Kenobi. And then I'm so indecisive about number 1 because I still love, the most famous scene ever, which is, when Vader tells Luke that he is his father. But before that, like what that used to be my favorite scene. And then when Rogue One came out, just the scene of Vader just coming through the doors and just going crazy with his lightsaber and just annihilating everybody was just my favorite scene.
Yeah, that's a
Alright.
good scene.
So basically everything's about Vader when in your view.
Yeah.
If it's Vader in it, it's your
Yes.
favorite.
Yeah.
All right, Drew, what's the next topic?
Top least favorite moments. What's your top 2 least favorite moments?
So it's the complete opposite in Star Wars. Like something you hate or think is this a waste of time, like whatever it could be. So
I guess number 2 would be like the whole festival scene in The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, really?
Oh wow.
Wow. Oh.
I don't think it was necessary.
Oh, okay.
It was cute, but I don't think it was
Yeah.
necessary. And then, I think it's because we didn't get that much of a backstory on her, but just the whole conversation between Poe and Zori.
Sorry, Blisk.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think that was really much needed. That could have been something edited out and they could have added something better because they said that movie was so long that they had so many scenes that they cut out, and I feel like that could have been something that could have been edited out and they could have put something else better because they introduce us Zori Bliss. They kind of tell us a little bit, but you really don't know who she is. She has a background history with Poe, but you don't really know who she is.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
So yeah, those are my 2 moments.
Both from the same movie.
Yeah.
Both from the same
Might
movie.
be.
And,
I would just redo that whole entire movie.
and what about episode 8? What's your take on that movie?
Well, when she does her ranking of all the films, then we'll
that's true. We'll find out.
We'll get to that. So,
That's
okay. So before we get to ranking all the films, we would like you to rank the trilogies. What's your least favorite trilogy, middle trilogy, and your favorite trilogy? What's on the bottom? Number 3.
All right, so on the bottom would be, oh man, this is tough. I guess the bottom would be, and I feel like people are going to kill me. So the bottom would be Return of the Jedi.
No, the trilogy.
The trilogy. Like
Oh,
1, 2,
Trilogy.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
so okay. So my least favorite would be, I guess, Attack of the Clones.
No, or the trilogies. Which trilogy? Prequel trilogy, original trilogy.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Which trilogy is your least favorite, middle, and then top?
All right. So out of the trilogies, I don't like the trilogies from anything from the newer trilogies. I don't like
So
that. So that would be my least
Sequel
favorite.
trilogy is your least
Sequel
favorite?
So sequel trilogies whatsoever. Then second would be the prequels, and then the first one would be the originals.
All right.
Yeah, I like that.
That's how a lot of people do it. But last week was with Lucy. She because she was a younger fan of Star Wars.
She went with the sequels.
She had that as her number 1 because that's just kind of like what was
What she
in the
knows.
culture growing up with Star Wars, like being right there in her surroundings. And so we were like, but her dad introduced her to Star Wars, so it's like, well, maybe her dad impressed like the original trilogy on her or something like that. But she went with the sequel trilogy, which is like, all right, like there's a lot of good stuff in there, but there's a lot of good stuff in all the trilogies and stuff. So
Yeah.
interesting. But yes,
But
so
now-
that seems to be like what probably most people with what you went with.
I think that was mine. I would assume that was mine.
I personally have the prequel trilogy as my top because the Clone Wars made it so much better. Like when I think of the prequels, I think of the Clone Wars, and so it's like all one story for me. So it's hard for me to separate the show from the movies. So it's all one thing. All right, but all 11 films now.
Yes.
This is the big one. What's your least favorite Star Wars movie?
Oof. I'm gonna have to go with The Last Jedi.
All right. Drew is happy as long as that's
Good
your bottom one.
answer.
Drew.
Good answer.
So I tell this to people all the time. Cinematography wise, it was the best
Yes.
Star Wars film.
It is the best looking Star Wars film in my opinion.
It is the best looking Star Wars film. It was the worst Star Wars film, in my opinion. And probably in many people's opinions.
Yeah. All right. Number 10. What would you go? What's second from the bottom?
Rise of Skywalker.
Wow.
All
okay.
right, that's just understandable. There's for me, when I see that movie, I think of like all the individual parts in that movie I think are great, but then put
The
them
way
all
it was cut.
together, I'm like, I don't really get it. Like it's just one of those things. Like, I don't know, but yes,
Fight scenes in Rise of Skywalker were great.
Yes.
Movie,
Palps
Yep.
was back, which helped. But yeah.
yeah.
yep.
But I wish they would have given you like more in
Like
depth as how
the
he came
actual
back.
beginning instead of in the scroll of like, hey, everyone heard a thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you're into the books, but if you read the book version, it makes the movie so much better because
Really? Yeah, I actually have the books.
if you read that book, it's like you're viewing it like through some characters and they hear it and they're like talking about their reaction to that situation, and so it makes it so much better. And then also it definitely flows a lot better. You actually learn about characters that, like you were saying, like they barely talked about, and so it helps a lot. But you can't base it on a book. You got to base it off of what we saw.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Number 9. What's
Hmm.
what's the third from the bottom?
Oof. That was a tough one. Number 9 would probably be. I guess Attack of the Clones.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
A lot
that's
of people
fair.
don't like that movie.
Yeah, it's
It's
definitely in the lower tier for me as well.
Which is funny because some of my tattoo pieces that I have on me is from Attack of the Clones, which is funny. Like I have Padme's, iconic scene where she's kissing, Anakin. I have that tattooed on me. But
you didn't have
overall,
the
You
scene
don't have
when
the
he's telling her about sand? Like you didn't want to do that on your arm?
no.
or
Ah,
the
No.
cow scene when they're rolling around. You don't want a
in the
big
field.
old cow
No.
thing.
So yeah, that would be my number 9.
All right.
Um
Next one, what would you say is number 8?
Man, you guys are throwing doozies at me. Number 8 would probably be.
And remember, it's 11 films, so Solo and Rogue One are on here too, so don't forget those ones.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So number 8 would be Solo.
Oh, okay.
Number 7 would be Force Awakens.
7 and 7. I like what you did there. Nice.
Yeah. Number 6 would probably be Phantom Menace.
All right.
Number 5 would be Return of the Jedi. Number 4 would be A New Hope.
Okay. So now we got your top 3. Now, what's your top 3? You got episode 3, episode 5, and Rogue One.
So my top 3 would be number 3 would be Revenge of the Sith.
All right.
Number 2 is Rogue One, and number 1 is Empire Strikes Back.
All right. Interesting. So I wrote down your answers just so we can fly through them again. So from the bottom, 8, 9, 2, Solo, 7, 1, 6, 4, 3, Rogue One, and number 5, Empire Strikes Back. That's a good,
That's a solid list.
interesting list. So
Interesting. I like the top 5.
So, what would you say is your reasoning for your top 3? Because people want to know like why you love certain movies so much. Like, we can understand. Like, these are probably generally in most people's top 3, Rogue One and 5. what about those movies do you love so much?
So Empire Strikes Back, even though I was introduced to New Hope and I loved New Hope, but Empire Strikes Back was just that awesome, sequel that everybody was just hit with different things all at once, and everybody was just in shock. And all the one-liners in that movie is just fantastic. Rogue One, like we spoke, it's my favorite off-story Star Wars film. It tied to the movies, but it had its own story. You got to fall in love with characters that you were never going to see again after they passed.
Yeah.
And unless they brought them back, like you got to see beforehand before everything led up to it. But, everybody that was in that film, every character, you absolutely loved them. Krennic was a great bad guy. You got Vader. Jyn Erso was so awesome as a female character. You got introduced to K2SO. Donnie Yang was just incredible. His one-liners. Just overall, that was just a great film. And then Revenge of the Sith, I remember being in high school and going to see that movie in theaters. And just the score alone for that movie was fantastic. The whole fight scene, getting to see Anakin slowly becoming into Darth Vader. And, the fight scene between him and Obi-Wan was just incredible.
All right. Cool. So that's all the talking points we have planned for you tonight. But is there anything else you want to talk about regarding Star Wars? We got time. Any other?
I'm just, like I said, I'm super excited, like what they're going to be releasing within the next year. It's just, we're going to get hit with a lot of Star Wars stuff. And hopefully, they see the popularity in some of this stuff and we get some of like Knights of the Old Republic that they're finally going to be doing. I'm hoping that we're finally going to be able probably to see a live action Cal Kestis. And I know once he pops up, the internet is going to be, people are going to be freaking out.
That is the rumor that there's going to be a Cal Kestis live action show. And my theory is if that happens, that's where Reva is going to show up because she's still alive out there.
I think he's going to pop up in Ahsoka.
Ooh.
I don't know. Because I think
a cool concept.
my view on Star Wars is that when you get to A New Hope, that Yoda and Obi-Wan are the only Jedi left.
Besides Ahsoka?
No, she's not a Jedi.
Oh, true.
She's not a Jedi.
Yeah.
So unless Cal Kestis no longer thinks of himself as a Jedi, but I think he's all right. He's one with the Force by the time we get to A New Hope.
He's one with the Force.
But I don't know. Who knows? It's Disney and they want to make billions of dollars, so they could definitely make him live and have him there. But it'd be cool to see him live action in Ahsoka. I wouldn't hate it, but he'd be really old.
I think it would fit pretty well, I feel like, because they had a similar struggling and hiding and stuff like that. So it could work.
It could. But we'll see. Next year.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Next year. All right.
Yeah, what about Ezra, Jeremiah? The chat's like, well, Ezra is... We know we're going to see Ezra.
But...
Yeah, we're supposed to be getting an Ezra and Thrawn.
Yeah.
For the Ahsoka show, which everybody's freaking out about that. And I love how they've kept it quiet because they released a leak of the Ahsoka show and they only showed Sabine, they showed Hera, and they showed Chopper, but you haven't no discussion whatsoever about or showing anything about Ezra or Thrawn.
Right.
Timothy even pretty much said at the ICCC panel that he is waiting for the Ahsoka show to come out so that he can write a Thrawn and Ezra book. Like he's planning to do that. So
I asked him at ICC, I'm like, do you know anything? And he's like, Lucasfilm hasn't told me anything. And I was like, you have to yell at them. Like, they need to tell you these things.
You ask him the question and a bunch of like red dots show up on his forehead. Like
that was like part of the panel too. He's like the panel host was saying like every time he asks this Timothy questions, he figures out a nice way to get around the answer. And so
oh yeah, he every time you would ask him anything related to like Thrawn, he was just like, shoop.
Yep, he figures out.
We just need Tom Holland. We just need Tom Holland to be in some Star Wars movies, and he'll spoil all
leak everything.
Everything.
He'll leak everything.
All right, cool. Well, that concludes the interview, but we have everyone's favorite time of the episode, the voicemail time. So let's
True.
transition over to that.
It's voicemail time.
That
Feel
was
free to laugh at me.
that was
singing
Drew,
that
by the
out
way.
loud.
All right, cool. So we have 6 voicemails tonight. 2 from
Fun.
Jedi Master and 4 from Will. And
Oh,
so
wow.
this first one from Jedi Master is interesting because we get a name drop from him, which we've never known his name, but we get a name drop. So let's listen to this first one from Jedi Master.
Hello, Empire Radio. This is Jedi Master Caden Hendricks. And I really loved the episodes that y'all did about the Imperial Coliseum. And so I was thinking I could do a little mini Imperial Coliseum where we have like a matchup, like maybe once a week or something. I don't know. We'll think about it. But my first matchup that I'm pretty proud of, we got General Grievous versus Luke Skywalker. So, yeah, let me know who you think would win, and may the Force be with you, always.
All right. 2 random characters in Star Wars, Grievous and Luke Skywalker. Who would win in a fight? But the
Ooh.
question is, which Luke Skywalker?
Which Luke, though? Are we getting?
Yeah, which
Are we
Luke?
getting the
I feel
Last
like
Jedi Luke? Well,
well, if it was
the
if it was,
lightsaber away.
well, I would say that like Grievous could probably beat Luke in
A New Hope.
during the original trilogy, like even episode 6,
Because
he's
6.
he's not that strong yet. Vader could have destroyed Luke in episode 6, but didn't because he had a soft spot for his son. So like
If it's like Luke from like The Mandalorian
Game over.
fighting General
then
Grievous,
Grievous is dead.
I mean,
yeah, then Grievous is done.
So
But I'm a big Grievous fan, so I'm gonna go with Grievous.
okay. Drew, what do you think?
Well, like Noah said, if it's Mando Luke, I'm going Luke. If it's the beginning or the end of Luke, either one of those, I'll probably go with Grievous. So I guess
I would say anything before the end of the original trilogy, I would say he'd lose. But after even episode 8, Luke I think would still beat Grievous because how powerful he was to project himself across the galaxy and do a fight.
that's true.
Like that's pretty powerful. That's just him, putting oil on all the squeaky parts of him because he hasn't used the Force in a while. He was able to do that. So I think
That's true.
post Return of the Jedi, Luke could probably beat Grievous anytime before that. Grievous would probably destroy him. So, all right. Well, next voicemail is also from Jedi Master, and let's hear what he has to say here.
Hello, Empire Radio. This is Jedi Master here. I really enjoy the top 5s that y'all do, and you're always asking for ideas. So, I had this idea where you could do the top 5 series. So, ranking the series, including live action, Mandalorian, Boba Fett, all that stuff, and the animated. So, top 5 for series for that. Hope you do that in the future, and may the Force be with you. Always.
All right, that is a good top 5, but it's hard because
They're still coming out.
they keep coming out every year. There's going to
Yeah.
be more and more series,
We
and so
haven't talked about Visions at all.
Oh my gosh,
That's-
yes, we didn't, and I'm excited about Visions.
that's coming out in early 2023. It's January or February, something like that.
I think it's February.
I think it's gonna be interesting too because it's not just like Japanese artists anymore either.
Yeah, it's
So,
studios from all around the world are allowed to do
Yeah.
season 2. So we're getting
Mhm.
studios. I think there's one from France, one from India. I think there's some from other places like in Europe, I think.
Mhm.
So that'd be cool. But
You have
right now, we could say what currently is our favorite series,
I'm not gonna. Yeah, top 5 would take a while.
but favorite series of all time in Star Wars, I would go with
The clones.
Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Um,
Clone Wars.
but and it's hard to put like Obi-Wan in that because it's like a one season. I don't think we're gonna get a season 2. So it's like,
I hope not.
I hope not either.
If we do, I want a Vader spinoff that has nothing to do with like Vader's point of view from here on out. I think would be really cool. Like to get a Vader show, but it's not really Kenobi related. Like he's not trying to hunt Kenobi, but all the stuff that he does, I think would be really cool and really dark. But I don't think we'll get that either.
But
I think
Clone Wars
mine
just,
right
go
now
ahead.
would probably be the Mando season or the Mando shows right now. Have been really,
Yeah.
really there for me right
the
now. So
the leaked trailer for that is really intense, and so I think season 3 of
I know it seems more dark.
dark,
Super
a lot more
dark.
action. Like usually,
I love that they're diving more deep into like Mandalore.
yeah,
yes.
it's gonna be really, really intense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the ratings is gonna compete with Kenobi.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Definitely.
And people are hyped for it. And I mean, maybe it
Mhm.
seems darker because every version we've got of it's been really fuzzy or
Darker.
someone's head in the way. But I think it is going to be a darker show.
All right, cool. Thank you, Jedi Master, for
But yeah,
those
maybe
2
Jedi
voicemails.
Master in like a year, we can maybe do that when a lot more other shows are coming out too. Because we got 3 big shows coming out. So we got to wait a little bit before we break down that. But that's a good idea.
All right. Cool. All right. Here is the next one from Will, which is one of 4. So let's listen to this.
Hey, Empire Radio. Will here. Hello there. Hello there. Hello there. No, I'm just kidding. I won't do that. Misa back. I took a unknown 2-week break. I was so busy these past few days and weeks that I forgot to send in voicemails. But I would like to say thank you to the others also sending in voicemails. They are rather entertaining. And, yeah. I'm back. Look forward to my next voicemail right after this.
All right. Thanks, Will.
I like how he like knows that he left you guys 5 voicemails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knows.
So he's like telling you already, like, thank you.
Yep.
Well, and
He's-
Will's actually one of our mods in our Discord. So
And
he
in the
is-
chat in the live stream too.
and in the chat. So
Nice.
the community knows him pretty well.
Yeah,
so
he usually sends in one
at least 1 or 2.
a week. But speaking of the chat, are they even talking?
Well, they're
Anything-
talking a lot, but
Nothing about the show.
no,
of us?
they're talking about the show and Mando and stuff like that. It's just hard because this is such a focused interview
Right.
conversation. So
All right, chat. We haven't forgotten about you.
no, you're still there.
You're still
We
there.
still love you.
Yep. All right. Number 2 from Will.
Hey, Empire Video. Will here. Since my 2-week hiatus, I have thought about some questions. Some very interesting questions, if you will. Now, this one, bear with me here. If you had to have your entire house one color, what would it be? Like the walls, the door, the window, shutters. I think that's what they're called. Yeah. Whatever. What color would you have your house?
All right, Will.
All right.
Thank you for that random question, Will. What would be a good singular monotone color for your entire house. So it's just the walls, the doors, the frames,
The blinds.
the shutters, as he said. So I would say something like a gray would be fine.
I was gonna go with that.
Gray, I think maybe like a blue, like maybe like a lighter blue or something like that. But I don't know.
I'm gonna go with gray.
Gray, like a dark gray or a light gray.
I guess I'm gonna go with light gray because that's the colors that we have now on the walls.
I'm
Drew,
gonna go with white,
white.
just because you can do a lot with white, and you don't get tired of white. It makes the rooms look bigger. When we bought my house, the front like living room space was like a dark blue, and it made the room look like 3 times smaller. And it took so much painting to get it to be white. And my wife makes everything white anyway. She's one of those people. So
One of those people.
just go white.
Hopefully, she doesn't
Minimalist,
listen to
easy.
this episode.
She probably will. She probably is. Knowing her, she might be even in the chat right now. But yeah,
Lurking without you
Lurking.
annoying.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for that question, Will. But you have number 3 for us, so let's listen to that.
Hello, Empire Radio. Hello there. Will here with a sort of dad joke, I guess. What does Wicket do to get across Endor? Ewoks.
Okay. Okay. That's actually, I like that one. I might steal that one. That's a
Oh,
good one.
it's so bad.
He's
It's
still
so
going.
funny.
Oh, he's still going.
Oh.
All right, thank you, Will, for that dad joke.
And the chat's quoting Andrew, "Get out."
Get out.
Yeah.
But Drew, you might as well just say your favorite dad joke, Star Wars dad joke.
Everyone
because
knows it though.
Yeah, but has Nilda heard it?
She's a Star Wars fan. I'm pretty
No,
sure she
probably.
has, but I'll say it anyways.
Drew, just say
All
it.
right, Nilda. What is the temperature inside of Tauntaun?
She doesn't.
Tell me.
Lukewarm.
Lukewarm. I like that.
Okay. Yep, it never gets old. All right, that was number 3. So let's listen to the final voicemail from Will tonight.
Hey, Empire Video. Will here with another joke. This is a good one. What is General Grievous's favorite band? Weezer.
Oh, he even added his own song.
That's right. I did it. I did the air horn.
Oh
Woo!
gosh.
Weezer, huh?
Oh,
Is that a good answer? I'm not a music person, but it is kind of funny.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Answer.
All right, so that's the end of voicemails. And so
Nelda, I hope you enjoyed our voicemail segment.
I did. I actually like that segment. That's really
Wait.
cool. That's a cool idea that you guys got, the fans to leave you guys voicemails and you guys get to answer them for them.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little more invigorating, but tonight was
Yeah.
a little
Sometimes it's just people telling us dad jokes, and a lot of them. Or sometimes they're actual real questions, and it's
real question.
really good.
But
No, I like that concept a lot.
yeah, so we've actually we're on a streak for like a year and a half. Every episode someone has sent in at least one voicemail. And so it's been a streak, and so hopefully it will never end, and we always hear new people. So Nilda, if you ever want to send us a voicemail,
True.
Oh, I definitely will.
you can
Should
ask
definitely do that.
It doesn't have to be about Star Wars. You can ask us what color do you want the inside of your house if you want.
Yeah.
So we as long as it's family friendly, we'll definitely play any voicemail that people send us. But anyway, to finish off the episode, we'll just go over our social media stuff. But Nilda, if you want to go over all your social stuff,
Plug yourself, Nilda.
plug yourself, promote yourself.
plug myself into the matrix.
Yes.
So you can find me on Instagram, which is Nilda listens. I kind of picked that name from the little chubby kid who yells at his mom, like Linda listens.
Oh, Linda. My wife always yells at me all the time. That's so funny that's what you did.
Yeah, I heard that little boy say it, and I was like, yep, that's going to be my username. Um, on YouTube and on TikTok, you can find me as Appetite for Collectibles. And then sometimes I feature myself in my fiance's channel. So you can find this on Way Back When Collectibles and Antiques on YouTube.
Sweet.
All
And then
right.
you're also part of a podcast too, or
Yeah, so sometimes I'm a guest on the show. It's called the Sith Cast. We do a show every Wednesday, and we just basically break down um, our pickups, our bounty pickups of the week. We break down shows. I know last week we were talking about all the new hot toys that were dropping. We were talking about Andor, our bounty pickups, and just basically talking about like what's the next thing for Star Wars. And we were just ranking just a whole bunch of stuff. So that's what we basically we do every week. I know this week they're going to be talking about like what's going on with SDCC,
oh, okay.
which is a San Diego Comic-Con, and like what's the exclusive drops that they just did recently for Sideshow.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be an interesting show for tomorrow.
Cool.
All right, cool. And as for our social medias, as always, the link is in the description, but it's links.co/Empire Radio, links with 2 I's. And there you have a landing page for everything for Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, needlesslynerdy.com podcast network. Definitely check that out for more nerdy stuff. And our fan email is on there. So if you just want to send us an email, go right ahead for that. And also, just another reminder for our VCU illustration project that the fans are involved with. Go check that out. Submit more submissions because we just got one this week, Drew.
Yeah.
And
I
someone took Legos and made a diorama of one of the voicemails. So that is great. More of those would be great.
That's cool.
And
Yeah,
so,
so Nelda, there was a big VCU. It's one person started this voicemail story arc, and then a bunch of people started adding to it, and none of them communicated, and it made one big story that went on for like almost 2 months.
2-3 months, and it was like
Yeah.
90 some voicemails, all one big story, crazy, amazing Star Wars story. And
that they all made, and none of them communicated. So it was like the things
every
the way
week
they added up, it was like perfect too. It was really weird.
Every week we're like, okay, is the story continuity gonna work? And every week it works. And so an amazing story. So we're having the fans illustrate that. And so if you can,
I'll have to definitely check that out.
if you can paint, if you can draw, if you can do sculptures, anything, digital art, the link for all that information for how you can do that is in our links page. And so we only got like a handful in all together, but so you got plenty to choose from, and there's a Google Doc with all the information and timestamps and whatnot. So, all right. Anything else from any of you tonight?
No, go check out all Nelda's YouTube stuff. Go
Yep,
check
and
it
I'll
out.
have that description, all that in the description too, with all her
Yes.
links. So, all right. Well, you have been listening to another interview-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
I'm
And may
Nilda.
the Force be with you.
Always.
Always and also with you.